All aboard. I'm Callie Jack. This is How Not to Game with Callie Jack. And I am the gaming persona of Diefed Rex. At least these days. We may go back to using Diefed Rex as the SimCity persona. We'll find out. And this is, for those who are not familiar with it, the Expanding Worlds tutorial, where we have expanded slowly but surely from a core right in here the map as we go along to allow more territory to accompany. And this is one of the options you have in Semi-Trans, especially in Pack 64 and Pack 128. I do not know, because we haven't played 192 other than the quick peek, whether or not it's capable to be done there as well. I imagine, being the same base engine, the answer is yes. Alright, we're going to get into it. Give me just a moment here to make certain I've got everything set up. And stepping in a little bit to see the system we have built. And I'm looking over what I can do down south to begin my service in these new communities. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to no player served by no player on the city list. Compact that down into something that's just showing just the cities. Don't need anything more than that. And then our factory list of what is not yet served by us, which is a good chunk of the book production line. So we've got options. Do we go industry, or do we start expanding passenger service? At this point in the game, passenger service, not quite as big as cargo for profits. I'm just shifting everything to where I prefer my windows to appear in the game. Line management. Yeah, it can sit over here too. We'll deal with that in a bit too. Now, one thing I do like to do is to order by citizens and then take a peek. So our four biggest towns are Hempstead, this one right here, Malleton, Springbury, and Walwick. Renborough, while it looks big, it's just a sprawl town, 500. These are the two that are closest in capability, and on those towns, they are both over in our new territory. So Malleton's here, Springbury's here, and Walwick is up here by Newham. And the question is, should I begin connecting up communities? Springbury is going to be a bear. It's up on the hill. Same with Heplock. So we're going to have some fun places to begin. I would like to invite everybody today to please, if you see a town that you think a better name could be made for, leave a comment in one of the videos for that town and say, hey, this town, maybe we should call it this. And I'll consider it. Put it in, maybe. More than likely, I will. Long as it's not something too totally offensive. This is a shorter video today for the start off, because we're going to remind you that Expanding Worlds will be on Saturday and Tuesday like normal now. And after this week, we may be going to only one day a week for the Expanding Worlds tutorial. All depends upon how things go. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking Walwick and Springberry would be good towns to do. But also, I need to tie into some other towns. And the nearest big towns to them are Oakby and Newham. Newham, 1700 to there, good choice. And that is something I'm thinking about, is both the coastal extension for our coastal rail, which would go between Beringwell and Newham to serve both of those from Hilton. And that's maybe where we're going to start. First, I got to pick up the spot to build a good little setup. Putting my landscape tools there today. Rail right below it, but over to the side like that. Okay. Road. There's a good spot for road. And ship. These here are the ones we're using the most right now. At this time, monorail, tram is just about to come into play. Matter of fact, I think we can start building the tram system. Looking at our vehicle lists, when did it come in? Yes. So the steam tram comes in 1895. And that's something that used to not be there. Biotram came in 1865, so we've had it for 4 years. That's the old horse-drawn tram carts on a rails. So the question is, should we start a tram? Should we start a rail? Or what should we start? Well, I think first thing's going to be rail. And I'm going to build the Walwick station right here. It's going to be just a 2-spot station initially. Get my landscape tools going here. as I begin to build over towards where I want the station to be at. And one thing I am big on is not doing all the ups and downs anymore. I'm like, I think I've had it with that. So I'm going to lay a rough approximation of where I would like this rail line to follow. And we're going to do a small dig through right there. And then build our Barrington station right in here. Looking it over, I'm trying to figure out where I had a rail station for Hilton, and I didn't have one. So, thinking it over, I decided that this is going to be a good time to add one. I'm going to bring him in here. And right in here, there is a spot where we can build ourselves a small station. This is going to be the anchor end for this line, which is going to come out this way. There we go. And rather than taking the dip here that I've got, I'm thinking we're going to build a bridge to keep that track level. And then over here we'll start our climb out. One of these two sides will become the stations. Get rid of this little spare piece of track and unpause the game. Hit the old control key so that we can see if there's a way to straighten that up. There is. And then this guy is going to come in like that, connect to there. We take out that guy right there and we're set. Or as some people say, Bob's your uncle. All right. So now we've got our basics. And we begin working Walwick Station. With the rail line laid in for the most part, now I've got to decide, how do I want to get across here? The road has to be straightened or changed. Well, I think we're going to do one thing, which is get rid of that hard right turn. I try to save those for spots where I just can't get around it. All right, I think we've got a good setup for the rail line. Once we figure out how we're getting across the road change will be a simpler one. I got it. I told you up here. Thank you. And we're just going to do something like that. Be ready to blast this once the coach is by it. And now we can run our rail across. Down the road, we can change the way everything lines up here. And while I've got the road tools out, I'm going to grab a good old dirt road and lay one that does this so that we have some growth potential for our community. There we go. Now we will take out that little stretch. And this will now actually leave it. I just thought of something. Having to do some adjustments here to my thoughts. This will be our Bearingwell and Newham stop. And we've got a system here. Now, I do not like the fact that it is so far out from our main dispatches, so we're going to build a new dispatch barn for this. Get the Hunslet going and get a simple 3-tile train rolling along this line. We are going to have it start down here at this stop. Hit Bearingwell and then come to Walwick. And that's our crossover so that we can make a crossover train down the road. There we go. And dispatch out. And of course, we always have to take him back by scheduling back. Hilton should be a 20% town, because that's actually a fairly big town right now. And we're only going to do 5% out of Walwick. Make certain you highlight your Hilton, where you want it to start, the bigger of the two cities, first, because you've already got your rail network there. You just have to do one little change, which is add a new stop at the station. Because whichever one is highlighted is where the train goes on dispatch automatically. And then over here we do need to add a simple bus station right there at the Hilton station. And I am thinking about shifting where all of our stations are here shortly. That might be a good spot to take them to too. Let's go ahead and name that line. And forgive me if I'm looking something up for a moment. And that'll be our Nova Cascum Express, the new West Express. Because eventually it will drop a couple of stations along the way and become an express train. Well, we did actually do a 20-minute episode. What do you know? And then some. Well, I'm Callie Jack. Have a better day than I'm having. More cognizant one. I'm going to go hit the coffee pot before we start our next episode. Don't know how many we're going to get today. We'll find out. And that will be coming up as an issue down the road. There may be days where you only get one episode of your show. Do apologize. I am getting some work, and I don't do recordings too far in advance anymore. Have a better day than I'm having.